I don't. I was kidding. Sorry.
This is a bad start. What's up, SC Nation? I'm here with Benny, who's been on the podcast before. I'm so excited. We're in Ottawa. I don't get to see a lot of people, and you can not see the top of my head, but who needs that? All right. So the topic of thought that I was thinking about. The other day I had some time to reflect about the fact that it was 4:00 in the afternoon. I had a lot of work to do during the day. I worked a lot. I got nothing done. Right? I got so many calls, so many emails that kept distracting me. I'm kind of curious. How do you manage your day?
Great question. Time management is one of those skills that I feel like so many people struggle with. Goodness knows, I know I do. Certainly a lot of other people do as well. The way that I've kind of started to kind of address these things, sorry, I hate to do this. How long should my answers be?
Oh, it's not a podcast. It's like a 10-minute video.
Okay, fair enough. Gotcha. Okay, shoot. Sorry.
You have some tips like you can provide?
Yes.
Oh, this I'm not editing any of this.
Oh, okay, great, fair enough. So tips, yes, absolutely. So I think one thing for me, and this is such a stereotypical cliche thing, but the idea of making small steps, towards that climb, towards Everest or towards the peak is so important. So even sometimes those other things that can kind of, in my experience, that take me away from the main activities I want to do, some of those small things, I sometimes take solace in the idea that yes, or rather these things need to get done anyways, so may as well just get these things done. And even though it kind of delayed me from getting my main activities done, I'm still making some progress. However, there is still the whole idea of prioritization is something that I'm sure is not lost on anybody. So it's just about maybe segmenting your time and having slots of time dedicated to certain things and using different strategies to not allow yourself to get distracted. Or not allow myself to get distracted when I could.
So do you book, like if you're preparing for a demo, do you book that time on your calendar or do you just leave it open?
So if it's a big demo that's going to require some dedication to really prep for it beyond just maybe standard prep, then absolutely I'm booking that time off.
Okay. So what I like to do is if it's something really important like you, I would book it on the calendar like I'm busy. If it's like little things, ticky-tack things that I need to work on, I book it and mark it as working elsewhere or tentative or something, so that people who want to actually, if they want to book over that, they can,
right.
And I would move that for them. Now you mentioned a few things that will keep you from, stop you from being distracted. Do you have anything you can share?
Absolutely, yeah. So some of the things actually. One of the strategies is something that you mentioned a little bit earlier, but it is so effective. This idea of turning your phone off to silent or vibrate for that time frame that you need it to be. Or, I don't know, I'm a big fan of listening to music while I work because it kind of gets me into the zone when I'm doing anything, and that way just allows me to kind of focus in on what I'm doing. I think the idea of sometimes providing a little bit of color, and not always you have to do this, not always do I even do this, but if I'm prepping for a particularly big deal, maybe a little bit more of a high profile deal, and people check my calendar before they come to speak to me, they're a little bit more wary to interrupt me during something that might affect a bigger deal than something that might not be as important. And so these are little things, but I would say the phone and music and maybe even sometimes removing myself from a large group of people. I work in an open office, for example.
Yes, I saw your office.
Yeah, exactly. Putting myself in a place where I'm a little bit harder to find can be pretty effective there too.
Okay. Have you heard of a website called Brain.fm?
I've not.
So music is good. People like to listen to music. Some people find it distracting. Brain FM, according to their website, they do like scientific research and create music that will actually enable you to focus more.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not affiliated with them or anything. I just use their product.
Fair enough.
And it's very good. And I like what you said, putting headphones in for multiple reasons. Listen to music. If you put your headphones in, people tend to distract you less. So if you have headphones in, people tend to do this. Right? Like, are you on the phone?
That's true.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. Right?
Yeah.
So, so these are both good tips. I like to put my office, I use Microsoft Office. At least that's my work does. I put it in offline mode. I used to try to turn it off, but then I would have to send an email as part of my work. So I turn it on and get bombarded by all these emails. So I just put it offline, write the email, hit send, and when it's time for me to check my email, it will automatically send that email. Yeah.
That's so huge. I completely forgot about that, and that's probably one of the most important things. So many studies are being done, or have been done, around this idea of, for social media, for example, the little red notification always kind of distracts people. That little dopamine rush that you get. Those of you that use Slack, that's the exact same icon, you know. And for Outlook, those get pushed and kind of pop up right there. One of the most, I guess, helpful tips I've ever been told when it comes to being productive is exactly what you described. Turn off those notifications. Check them when you, just like on schedules. Don't just always see everything as it comes in. Same thing for Slack. You could snooze your notifications for a period of time, and if the people still have the option, if something is very important, to still circumvent that by pushing the notification to you after the fact. But at least by having that first line of vetting there, or not even vetting, having that first line of defense against the distraction is so key. I'm so happy you said that.
And you can always turn it on after your time. Like you need the, so as SEs we work on demos, we work on solving problems, and we need like 1 hour, 2 hours of time slot. And the fact of the matter is, so you travel. Have you ever been on a plane and when you get off the plane, you're like, you read that somebody, like a product blew up and now you're out of a job?
I can only imagine.
Like nothing happens, nothing bad has ever happened while I'm on a plane. Like I've had some issues that I need to take care of, but I have an out of office response. Actually, Tim Ferriss, I don't know if you've ever read the 4 Hour Workweek.
I haven't. I've heard of it.
So he talks about putting an out of office email, even if you're in the office, saying, I'm currently in meetings, I'll be available at 11 to respond to emails, or 11 and 3 to respond to email. And that will set the expectations of like...
It's interesting.
Yeah. And I tried it with my old company. They didn't like it. Like my boss didn't like it. But if you want to try it and then seek forgiveness later,
right,
it's a good idea.
Yeah. Can you argue? And who am I to argue with Tim Ferriss? I'm nobody. But like,
you could argue.
Sure, I guess.
You'd probably be wrong, but you could argue.
Fair enough. Do love to play devil's advocate. Can you? I love the focus towards somebody's activities that they're taking part in when they kind of do that, or rather when they commit themselves to that point. If you're in a role though where you are maybe in high demand, can that maybe come off? No, I shouldn't say that. The idea of this though that seems so weird to me is that could that come off as pretentious, where it's like, hey, every single, because imagine if you have an out of office email for that, or an out of office reply for that. That's going to be coming up for every single email that comes in, whether it be something that requires your attention right away or not. So then imagine if somebody kind of sends you something that they don't actually need to have addressed right away, but they immediately get an out-of-office email saying, hey, sorry, I'm busy right now working on this thing. Do you think that could come off?
Well, you can always word it. Like I'm in a customer meeting. Right. So I've had customers who email me at 9 o'clock in the morning asking me a question, and at 9:05 they follow up like, is there an answer? Like,
fair.
You know, we are not always... Most customers that I work with sit in front of their computer all day. The only time they leave it is for lunch, and they come back. But as sales engineers, you're doing demos, I'm driving, visiting customers. People are flying to meet other customers. So we're not always in front of our desks.
Right.
And some customers don't understand that. And if you have an out-of-office response, like whether you want to do it or not, I'm not advocating you do it, it's just an idea.
It's fair enough.
But you can have, like, I'm out of the office, I'm currently in a customer meeting.
Right.
I will be available at 3 to take a look at the emails. Please await my response at that time. If this is urgent, please text me. And you put in your phone number in there, and they could text you if they want.
That's a good point.
So there are multiple ways to circumvent that, and you don't have to sound snooty saying like, dude, I'm busy, I don't want to talk to you right now, I'll talk to you at my own time.
Right.
That doesn't come up, like, that's not the best way to do it.
Good point.
Yeah. What else do I wanted to say? Oh, what do you do if someone comes by your cubicle all the time to chat?
About non-work related things?
Yeah,
or
like
about just casual
or
stuff?
even work-related things. It doesn't have to be non-related. Like if you're in the middle of something,
right,
and someone's like, "Hey, you got a minute?"
So yeah, good question.
All of my questions are good.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's not wrong either. So if they say got a minute, honestly, I will, even if I'm in the middle of something super important, unless I'm on the phone with somebody, typically I'll give them a minute, if even, though. Maybe it is something that actually is more important than this, and I'm not going to know that unless I actually hear what it is. If it's something, though, that's carrying on, or if I very quickly can identify that this is something that falls maybe below, or maybe it's not as important to something that, or it's something that I could really just address later, then at least with the people that I have the opportunity and really privilege to work with, they are very understanding if I kind of tell them, hey, no, sorry, this isn't something that I can do right now.
Right. But can you say something to the effect like, hey, can I get back to you in 5 minutes or
Of course.
10 minutes?
Absolutely.
Or whatever. Or is this urgent? Like,
good point.
I am in the middle of something. Is this urgent?
I have said that. Yes, that's a good point.
So, yeah, we all do it. It's just we do it when it's really urgent where, like, something's about to explode.
Right.
But why don't we do that on a day-to-day basis? Because there's a lot of research about multitasking or task switching. Multitasking doesn't exist, by the
multitasking.
way. I hate to break it to the folks there who put in their job description that multitasking is a must. I'm not at a job. I can't even apply to that one. But multitasking is a myth, and task switching actually decreases performance because you're writing an email. I think I gave that example like in the last video. You write an email, someone interrupts you. The email should have taken 5 minutes, and now it's going to take like 15 minutes just because you want to remember where you were. It happened to me today. I did it to myself, where my phone only rings or like on WhatsApp if my wife texts me. If anybody else texts me, I don't even hear it. Writing an email, long email, I'm focusing. My WhatsApp rings, and all I do is this. Right? I do that. I did that to myself, and then by the time I put it back and got back into the email, I just wasted.
Right.
My wife is happy though.
Of course, yeah. Well,
I'm still married.
Happy wife, happy life, and all. But
I would say that. Any other things you can think of?
Honestly, I think you covered so many of the key ones. So the idea of kind of know what the tools that you're using, know what they're capable of. So know how you can snooze things if you can. Know how to take advantage of those things. So say brain.fm, you said?
Yeah, brain.fm.
Brain.fm, whatever it takes for you to focus in on things. Some people like white noise. Classical music is great for this type of thing, so you don't really get distracted by lyrics, but people also don't get distracted by lyrics sometimes. So whatever it takes.
Yeah, so here's another tip, Tim Ferriss tip. For those of you who don't know Tim Ferriss, look him up. He has like one of the most popular podcasts out there. You can listen to the same song on loop. After a while, you zone out the lyrics, and you get into like he uses that for meditation.
Fair enough.
Right,
Interesting.
So that's an idea.
True. Maybe don't play a song that you like too much, because then you might learn to hate it. Potentially.
Yeah. If you want to continue to love that song, maybe don't listen to Disturbed. I listened to Disturbed.
Oh wow! Hey,
the Sound of Silence.
Ah, that's a good one too. I was gonna say in general, it definitely gets you pumped up to work. The Disturbed. So,
no, I don't listen to Disturbed in general.
Okay, fair enough. Valid. That is a good cover. But yeah, no, I think you covered so many of the key points on what it takes for you to not get too distracted. I think you know your own schedule best. You know those tasks that you have, and I think that you know what the priority of those tasks are. So, and I think other people, I mean, we're all working in it together. You at your organization, those on the sales team that need you, your other customers that need you, they're going to recognize that you are in demand. And I think that if you're able to frame things in a way that shows or conveys exactly what you're doing, and why you are maybe prioritizing something over another, if you ever have to go that far, then they're going to be very understanding about that.
As long as, like, if you get an email, if you don't respond to it on the minute, if you respond to it that day, even if it's just, hey man, got your email, I'm looking into it, like, that usually helps the customer.
Exactly.
All right, well, thanks, Benny.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That's my pleasure. By the way, Benny loves his job. He really loves his job. So, go SEs.